Joining me in studio now, Central Falls Mayor Maria Rivera. Mayor, nice to have you on. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know.
I hope
Thank
you
you
have
for
a lot.
having me.
You have
This
a lot
is my
to talk
first
about.
time.
Well, we've crossed paths. Your first time on the show?
This is my first time on the show.
Well, that's a big deal. By the way, you bought me some treats. We'll show those
Yes,
at the
I
end of
did.
the segment. Well, we have good news and bad news.
Yes.
You have a nice story about your police department, a nice award you picked up along with your chief. However, let's begin with the RICAS scores.
Yes.
And Central Falls, you did not do very well at all. In fact, you're in last place. Central Falls. Now, this may not be a surprise because your schools have been struggling for a while. In fact, the state took your schools over a while ago, and the scores are just not where they should be. Math, less than 5% proficient. Let's begin there. What's the fix, Mayor?
First of all, it's very sad that this is something that has happened year after year.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even putting the test scores out there for the city of Central Falls because it's so low. There's a lot of challenges in Central Falls. There's a lot of challenges. I feel like this has happened year after year, and it's time that we all come together and we start trying to figure out, like, what are the issues, what are the problems. We have students who have to work full time because they have to help their families. We have the income is a barrier. There's students who are homeless. Like, there are many, many challenges.
Yeah.
Are we speaking to the teachers and trying to figure out, like, what are the challenges the teachers are facing because our students are coming in with challenges? This is why I hired a chief education strategist. You know, I don't know what's going to happen if the district is going to come under control of the city, or the state's going to continue. But as a mayor of the city, I feel fully responsible for the education of the students in the city of Central Falls. Central Falls is never going to succeed unless we help our students succeed in education. So I hired a chief education strategist to do an overall analysis of what is happening within the district, but this is not something that she's going to do alone. It's time that we all come to the table. Right. So it's the mayor's office, it's the teachers, it's the superintendent. I know the superintendent is trying to do everything that she can, but there's just way too many challenges. But we have to figure out, like, what are those challenges, and we have to start addressing those challenges.
Right. Well, these challenges predate your tenure in office.
Yeah.
By the way, did you go to the Central Falls school system
I
at all?
did. And, when I graduated in 1995, no one was talking to me about college. No one was trying to help me get ahead in life. I'm assuming that's the same thing that's happening right now because when I speak to students, you apply for college, what college are you going to? A lot of them have no idea.
Well, we're paying guidance counselors. Now, let's turn it around. The taxpayer. How much does the taxpayer have to swallow? They've thrown millions at the school district. Less than 5% proficient in math. More than 95% of students did not meet expectations. So this is a failing system.
Yes.
All right. Now, does that mean, should we blow it up completely and start all over again? I mean, you can't really do that because there's kids in the school. What are your solutions? You've raised many, many questions. Do you have any solutions you'd like to throw out there?
Well,
how do you do math better?
Well, this is why I'm working with a chief education strategist who is going to be working with the teachers, with the principals, with the superintendent, talking to the families. Where are those gaps that we really need to focus on?
Now, you have many new arrivals in your city, and you also have English as a second language. Many of your community, your family speak Spanish predominantly. Is this a factor?
This is absolutely a factor. This is absolutely a factor. You know, I believe that when a student comes here from another country, you can't put them in a classroom with only students who speak Spanish. We should be putting them in classrooms with other students who speak English because we learn from each other. They learn from each other. This is what the charter schools do. And if you look at the test scores of the charter schools, they're higher than the district.
You have one in your city, by the way.
I actually have three.
Well, the one I know about is...
we have the learning community, we have Segway, and we have BBP.
Segway. I've been to Segway. Okay. Boy, that's a different story.
But we're educating the same students, the same demographics.
Yeah.
So there is a possibility for us to turn this around and help our students succeed. If it's happening in a charter school with students who live in Central Falls, why can't we do it in the public school district?
Okay, so number one, you would say everybody gets mixed together. You're going to learn English while you learn chemistry, math, and everything else at the same time?
Well, you have to start with one thing, right? We can't just put them in to start learning chemistry right away as soon as they come here.
Okay.
They need to start learning the language first. Start learning the language, and like multilingual learners. If you look at the data of the multilingual learners, they're learning everything. And they're exceeding expectations. They're still not where we want them to be, but they're exceeding expectations, and they're learning everything.
It's just a terrible problem. It's been going on for years, and I don't know.
It's a very It's a very sad problem, but there's never been a mayor who has wanted to do anything around this.
Yeah.
And I think, me coming in, I feel responsible. I feel responsible as the mayor of the city. I'm not an educator, but I know to bring people together to the table to try to figure out, like, what are the problems that we have to start working on. And I feel like that hasn't happened.
I had the education commissioner and the governor. By the way, statewide, test scores are up 2.7 and 2 points. We'll get to that a little later in the broadcast. You're not where you need to be. Your scores are terrible. Some of this has to do with attendance.
Yes.
The families are not sending their kids as much as they should. Why is that?
We have students in the high school who have to work full time. We have students who are taking care of their siblings. They have challenges. We have students who have families who could have transportation issues. Like if you have a 10th grader and a 3rd grader and the 10th grader is sick, family has to go to work. Who's going to take that 3rd grader to school? Like there's different challenges, but we are having conversations about what we have to do with attendance. I know that the superintendent is working on that, and they actually got some data that attendance has increased in Central Falls. We know how important attendance is. I joined the 365, the governor's 365 plan, and we're also going to be focusing on that. For me, I feel like it's a little bit challenging because I don't run the school district, right? So it's not like I can come into the school district and tell them this is what you have to do. But as a community leader, because I have the community so well connected to me, it's an opportunity for me to work with the families in the district and talk about attendance, bring them together and say, what do we have to do, or this is what I want to see happen.
Right. Just a quick, we'll wrap this up because I want to move on to other. There is some good news, by the way. You have a very nice award for your police department. You've got that train station coming in at Central Falls, Pawtucket. Do you want your city to take over the schools?
That's a longer conversation. I can't just take over the district, right? Because this is a budget issue as well.
Okay.
And I can't put this burden on the taxpayers.
All right. So the answer right now is no.
The answer right now is no. But this is also why Sarah's coming in as the chief education strategist to do this overall analysis. She's also going to be looking at the budget for the state, the budget for the city.
All right. On your police department, crime in your city, is it down under your watch? And you just received an award for community policing. That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a huge big deal.
Yeah.
The crime in the city of Central Falls is the lowest it's been in the last 20 years, that's huge
congratulations
for the city of Central Falls. Thank you. And when we just got back from San Diego from receiving the International Association of Police Chiefs Community Policing Award, that's a big deal. This is not just any award. This is probably one of the biggest awards a police department could receive because of community policing, because of the work the police department has been doing with the community. We have the Leading Ladies Initiative, right? The Leading Ladies Initiative was the focus of them receiving this award because it's important for us to continue working and connecting with the youth of the community.
Specifically, what did they cite about your community police effort? What are they saying that you did better than others?
Well, they looked at the Leading Ladies Initiative, and the Leading Ladies Initiative was an initiative that started by Colonel Roberson many years ago. But since he'd been in the city of Central Falls, we've expanded it. It used to be like a 1-day, 6-hour program. Now we have a whole weekend retreat. We're like 20 young girls, we bring them in, we mentor them, we bring in ladies who are professionals, judges like the lieutenant governor, different ladies who come and mentor them. We talk to them about college. We talk to them about the importance of attending school. We talk to them, we help them with resume building. There's a lot of things that we help them with, but it doesn't stop there. We stay connected to these young girls. And as I said before, there are many challenges in the city of Central Falls. So these girls, their parents have to work. Just like many other parents have to work, right? They come from different countries. The parents don't speak the language. They could tell them, I want you to go to college, but they're not walking them through the process. So I feel it's our responsibility to try to help as many of our kids as possible. And now we're also doing it with boys. So this is the first year that the police department also took the initiative to do it with boys.
Well, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
The news is always mixed, not so good on schools, but very good on policing. Crime is down, you said, to the lowest levels in 20 years. You also have some good news. The new train station is another big deal. It's in Pawtucket, but it's right on your line. They're calling it the Central Falls Pawtucket train station. Are you starting to see the results that you're hoping for?
It's a great big deal, right? There's a lot of new people coming into the city of Central Falls. There's a lot of people that are using the train. They're getting better jobs in Massachusetts, but it's also a challenge because I'm thinking about gentrification. Housing is a big deal for me. Affordable housing is a big deal for me. The rents are ridiculous. Who would ever thought that rents in Central Falls for a 2-bedroom would be like $1,600? that's a big deal. My families can't afford that, which is why I've been so focused on affordable housing and trying to bring in more affordable housing, because I know that we're going to continue receiving people from other parts they can afford to pay the $1,600, but it's also kicking out the families who already live in the community.
It's interesting. Three issues we talked on. We'll have you in again. It's not your first visit.
Yeah.
Also have you on the radio to continue some of the important issues in your city. Mayor, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.